Yo, what's up? What do they call me? They call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, they call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I look good on camera. You know I look good on camera. How are you all doing out there? Welcome to the Devin Zoolander Show. I'm your host, Devin Zoolander, coming all the way live from my domicile. And I'm here with a very talented, impressive woman who is a fitness enthusiast, who is a notary, who is a real estate agent. I don't know why I didn't say that first. Please put your hands together for the one and only Marrae Jean.
Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, it's my honor to have you here. I've been looking forward to this for a while, and I'm just glad that we could finally make it work logistically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Marrae, tell me a little bit about how you got started in real estate as far as your mother and your aunt. Can you just tell me a little bit about how they inspired you to get into real estate?
Well, my mom and my aunt, my parents and my aunt and uncles, they were investors. So, my mom and my aunt decided, to go get their real estate license. They had an agent, but they decided to go get their real estate license because it was uh, easier for them to find properties. And my mom actually went further ahead and started helping other people buy and sell properties. My aunt didn't move forward with it, but my mom was, 12 years in, I think at the time. And she was like, hey, why don't you get your real estate license? I was like, yeah, no. It's okay. And it wasn't until I started working behind the scenes at a title company where I learned, so much about the real estate industry to where, not to say my mom didn't teach me, she taught me so much, but sometimes it's great to learn from other experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I did that, and I used to watch HGTV all the time, and I was just like, I think I can do it.
Yeah.
So then that's when I told my mom, I will become a real estate agent. And from there, her and I just became partners ever since, like a mother and daughter team. The people just loved it.
Yeah, I think that's really cool that you're able to do that, because I think back to when I was in school, like around like first grade, and we would have class field trips, and they would always ask for parents to be chaperones for the field trip. And I never wanted my mom to be there. Like I just was like, nah, why you stay over there? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe if I had a closer relationship with my dad, like when I was coming up, maybe I would have been a little bit more cool with him. But mom, I just didn't want to. I didn't want her all up in my world like that. So when I hear you talk about how you're working with your mother, it's really refreshing to hear that.
Yeah, it's rare. You don't always see people working with their parents. But I've had a great relationship with my mom. You mother and daughters, like we're in combat sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just it is what it is. But we still have that great relationship. And my mom has taught me so much about business. And my mom is a hustler. She's a go-getter, and I love that about her. So she taught me that, and so I just kind of like followed her footsteps.
Well, I'm just really impressed by both of you being able to do that, and I like that she can impart, and she has imparted wisdom upon you about the business of the real estate industry. But I also like how you're probably able to tell her some things that she didn't know initially when she.
Oh yeah, started. Now because I know so much now, I teach her.
Yeah.
There's certain things I still go to her for, and there's certain things she comes to me for. So I'm very tech savvy, and when it comes to that technology and marketing side, I teach her. When it comes to the business side, like I know a lot, but I still go to her because, she still knows a lot. She's, when you become of age, you gain more wisdom. And I still go to my mom, like, well, what about this or what about that? And, she'll help me out. And then, she's definitely a great resource for when I need to vent and she needs to vent. We kind of piggyback off each other.
Right. Now, one thing I want to go back to is I know you're a real estate agent now. You've been doing this for 8 years. However, I would like to go back to your college years. And I believe you started at IUP and transferred to Point Park. Okay. So can you tell me about what were your interests in college extracurricular activities major, and then were they different from what you ended up doing in real estate?
um. Okay, so when I first got into college, well, let's take it back to high school.
Okay.
I never really took math in high school. I took accounting, and I loved accounting. My teacher, Mr. Stesser at the time, he taught me a lot about accounting, and I mean, it was great, and I took it as a major. And then I got to school, and when I took accounting, they was like, "Oh, you got to take this math class, you got to take that math class," and I was like, "Yeah, no, switch majors, please." And I ended up going to school for communication. I kind of wanted to do a little bit of acting.
Okay.
I did a couple acting gigs, like no more it was like little church gigs that I did.
It counts.
So I did communication, and then I wanted to do kind of like event planning and stuff like that. So ended up working for like a club. Wasn't in the event planning portion of it like I had thought I was going to do. And then I just ended up switching from IEP to Point Park, and I ended up having advertising and public relations as my major. I don't know how I got into that. I just, but I used a lot of my marketing skills. That's where I got it from.
Yeah.
For advertising and stuff.
Yeah. So you went from, so we got communications, we got advertising and marketing, and how do we get from, I can kind of see a correlation between those and being a real estate agent, but how did you get from those things in college to real estate?
Well, I was working for a title company.
Oh, right.
While I was in school for
Right.
Point Park.
Right.
And I just advertising and public relations, that just wasn't, it was my major, but it wasn't something that I really wanted to do for a company.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing about Point Park is you're hands-on. So you actually, when you do projects, you're actually working on a project for an actual company, a marketing firm or something like that. And that was fun. Like I did a JCPenney's ad. I think they were called like the Smith Brothers. I did an ad for them. So it was cool, but it just wasn't what I wanted. And I really still didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. And I just needed a job. My mom helped me get a job at a title company. And, while I was just at the title company, I was learning so much. And like I said, I was always into watching HGTV. When I got home, there was so many shows I was just so addicted to. So, and that is what made me say, okay, well, I want to do real estate. And it wasn't until I switched from the title company and started working for a bank and had my license and started working at the bank for a year. And then I couldn't find a job because our whole entire department got laid off and I couldn't find a job. And I mean, I was looking, for a few months knowing that we were about to get laid off. And my mom was like, well, I mean, you have your real estate license. Why don't you just do real estate full time? And I was like, I have no choice at this point. I started going to trainings and I started just educating myself and learning, making phone calls, trying to build my reputation, my image and everything like that. And my mom was still, because the market had crashed at the time, my mom was still working a full-time job. So I kind of took on the whole real estate side for her as well. And I went out and I started, really grinding. I mean, I didn't go full time. Like I got like little part-time serving gigs while my real estate career took on. And maybe like 2 years into my real estate, I was like, I'm done with these part-time gigs. I'm doing real estate full time. And I've been doing good ever since for the most part.
Absolutely.
Building my, relationships with people.
Yeah, absolutely. Her portfolio is stellar. I haven't seen her portfolio, but I did look at her LinkedIn and I see what she's talking about. So absolutely, I'm glad that you were able to figure that out because, and what I also like is that from working in the title company, from also doing advertising, marketing, and communications, all those skills, in my opinion, they serve you in the work that you're doing because when you think of event planning, I think of like open house events. And when you think about communication skills, I think about being in constant communication with your real estate company as well as with clients, as well as and I heard on the other podcast where you were kind of talking about, you're essentially the middleman or the liaison for all these different things. So I think that your skills, they kind of line up with what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you always anything that you do in life, you're supposed to learn and take that and to the next phase of your life. So I did take to communications and advertising, and I took that into my real estate career. I learned so much, even in real estate and everything else that I did. It's just you have to know what works, So
Absolutely. Well done. Well done.
thank you.
I'm proud of you. So to move along, let's see. One of the things that I remember hearing from listening to the podcast was that your goal is to become the top Black real estate agent in Allegheny County.
So my goal.
Right. So what will it take for you to be able to achieve that?
Well, right now I'm in the hiring phase. Because I do property management as well, and I just bought an investment property, and real estate is crazy. The market is just insane right now. So, I am looking to hire an assistant to help me further my business, and then I already have a transaction coordinator that helps me with all my transactions. Having an assistant would just help me balance everything out, and then maybe hiring on another agent for my team.
So as far as the assistant goes, I mean, I don't want to make this like an ageist thing, but is there demographically age-wise, is there age
Well, yeah,
range?
I want somebody that's looking to hustle, someone that's looking to learn and somebody that can teach me. The one thing that I've learned from hiring other assistants is that I don't want somebody just to take orders. I want somebody that is going to come on and is already like tech savvy, is
Yeah.
already like, detail oriented, but they want to learn more as well. And by them being, tech savvy and just a go-getter, like they're teaching me. So like if I, hey, I want to do this flyer for this event or whatever, I need them to be able to create that and then teach me, hey, how did you do that? Like, oh, I did this on Canva. I did da. So that's like, we're balancing out each other. So I want somebody to help me grow, but I can help them grow as well. So help me help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, with real estate and being crazy as it is, sometimes we just don't have time to like sit down, And so, having that support system would be great because, you don't always have time to sit down and say, okay, I'm going to take an hour and just learn Canva.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's what we got to do until we find somebody else that can do it for us.
Absolutely. Now, one last thing about Canva, just because I'm seeing a connection here, but the one feature on Canva that changed my whole life with making these flyers is when you go down to effects and it has background remover tool, and that is just like the best thing in the world because you look at where we are right now. Man, that's a nice sky blue cloudy backdrop that we have here. But
Yeah.
what if I want myself and Marrae, what if I want us to be against a different background? Then guess what? You can go into Canva and you can just hit background remover tool and then put another background behind you, a little cool font. Man, we easy breezy. Yeah, so
It is a cool feature.
it definitely is. But I must tell all of you cheap people out there, or you people that don't understand the value of a paid subscription, that you are going to have to pay monthly. Because if you just try to do it on the regular free version, then it's going to be like, ha ha ha, you funny. But it's not going to let you do it. So do that. You get access to all the different elements and shapes and borders and stuff. So Canva is definitely a good resource. And I think that the assistant that you hire will be able to use Canva and a bunch of different other tools. Like even there's one called mixed captions. Like if you want to add captions to your video. So if she's recording you talking about one of your services that you offer as a real estate agent. And because what I read one time is that sometimes when people see words dancing across the bottom of the page, it helps to engage them a little bit more. That's what I read. So
I have no
I don't
idea.
know. Goodness me, yes. But anyway, it sounded smooth to me. But moving on, let's see. So you're going to hire an assistant. I'm sure you'll be able to find that person soon. As far as you say you just purchased an investment property.
Yeah.
So can you just tell me about what that process was like?
It was different. Um, I actually had to purchase this property. I've been looking for a property for a while, and I ended up purchasing this property from a wholesaler. And a lot of times, when you're, especially in this market, when you're looking for a property, you purchase it from a wholesaler. It's like no inspections, as is, and it was like, oh, like like you want to do an inspection because you will know the ins and outs of the property, how much it's going to cost to fix XYZ, if there's any roof issues or whatnot. And I wasn't able to do that. So um I bought it about a month ago. Haven't worked on it yet. Just kind of you know, trying to get everything together as far as like the utilities and everything, and dealing with like just getting it out and stuff. But the process wasn't easy in terms of um, knowing the ins and outs like a regular traditional style. And I went in there, had a couple contractors look at it. There was extra issues with it that I didn't know about, which is fine. We made it work and we figured out the cost and everything. Um, and it just was stressful and different from the actual real estate side. So my friend was like, it's almost like, as a real estate agent, you're like the bartender or a server in a restaurant, so that process or that knowledge is different than owning a bar or a restaurant. You may have some insight, but you're not going to have the whole, back information. So going through the investment side and, there's different terminologies. There's like, I really had to educate myself because I'm working with investors and helping them buy and sell properties is one thing, but being an investor yourself and having to understand the numbers and how to understand like your cap rate and understanding, your profit margin. That's a lot. I mean, it's not a lot, but you just really have to really pay attention to the details and all that to make sure that what you're buying makes sense. So just doing the numbers and everything, what I'm buying, what I bought made sense to buy. So it was a different process again, but definitely an experience. So can't wait to buy the next one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, you famously or infamously said on the roundtable discussion, you were talking about how being a real estate agent is about more than sticking a sign in the yard. So can you please elaborate? I mean, I was paraphrasing that; those might not have been your exact words, but can you please tell me what you mean by that?
Well, there are agents that just put minimum work into buying and selling. You're helping people buy and sell. Well, me, like, it's more about relationship building because I want you to be able to trust me, number one, and I want you to be able to refer me to your friends and family. So most of my business is referral based, and from social media, but I love to build relationships. So when I go to sell a property as a listing agent, I'm not just putting a sign in the yard. I'm doing a lot of marketing. I'm doing a lot of advertising. I'm reaching out to other people in the area to let them know that I listed the house. I am reaching out to, my clients that I do have to let them know, hey, I just listed this house, and especially if it's in their price point in their area. Are you interested? So I make sure that the seller is, aware of, hey, like I'm going above and beyond to help you get this sold. And I want you to be able to get the price point that you are looking for. So, it's not just, there's a lot more that we do. I mean, but I say that to say because people in their minds, they think that that's all we do. And they don't understand that we are the liaison between the buyer, the seller, the title company, the mortgage lenders, the boroughs. Like there's a lot of parties that are involved in a transaction. So we do a lot of work behind the scenes. So it's not just opening the door for you and showing you this beautiful house and say, oh, so this is that, and you have the kitchen, the bathroom. Yeah. No, it's hard work. And, we're dealing with different personalities when trying to get this transaction to close. So the buyer is mainly dealing with me and their mortgage lender. The seller is mainly dealing with me and maybe the borough, so I'm dealing with, again, the title company. I'm dealing with the listing or buyer's agent. I'm dealing with I'm dealing with the borough. I'm dealing with the mortgage lender. I'm dealing with a lot of different parties. So buyers, some people just think, oh, you guys aren't working hard enough. No, we work hard.
Right.
And it's just sometimes communication can get mixed up, and that's why it takes a phone call to just clear things up, or, a simple email or whatnot. But we make sure that communication is on point, because we don't want to be confused or be misled in any way. So we just try to make sure that, we keep lines of communications open and let them know that, hey, we are working hard on your behalf.
Gotcha. I believe that you also said something about how you have a lot of people right now that want to buy homes, but you don't have as many that want to sell homes. And did I say, is that the right way?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, so it's like supply and demand.
Yeah.
The demand is high, extremely high, and the supply is low. So, it's multiple offers like crazy on properties. So a lot of buyers are having to be strategic on how, on the offer that they submit. We've had buyers bid way over us. There's maybe $20,000-$25,000 over asking. Sellers not negotiating on inspections. Buyers having to waive inspections or waive the appraisal, or they're even giving up like free Stiller tickets. And there's so much that people are doing to try to win their offer.